Hello, my name is Caitlin,
I'm Bella.
and this is the Colorguard Creative Podcast.
Welcome back.
Yes. All right, so today let's do a little recap, like we always do. So, recap, we did last episode. What did we talk about last episode?
What should you be doing?
Oh, yeah.
Now that summer's out.
Yeah, now that summer's out, we talked about what you could be doing. We talked a little bit about the performers and then also the instructors. So that was awesome. And then we also talked about a little bit what we were doing. The guard is having the guard socials and stuff. So
Leadership camps.
Yep, leadership camps. So make sure to go check out that episode. It was a great episode, so make sure to go check that out. A little bit about what we're going to be doing in this episode. We're going to talk about what we've been doing recently, obviously, but also we're going to take a deep dive into hiring, like what we did as director, assistant director to hire our two techs. Because I got a lot of questions on how the whole process actually went. So we're going to take a deep dive into that, which is going to be exciting. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about that. Let's talk about what we've been doing recently, though. So we're getting really close to band camp.
It's coming up. It's encroaching.
It's encroaching on my livability space.
Consciousness. Yes.
Yes.
Well, we did touch last time. You did your leadership camp, so our leadership is feeling a little bit more ready for band camp. What else have we been doing to get ready?
You know what? I actually organized everything. I organized what we were going to be doing every single week. So I broke it down by week first, because our band camp is 4 weeks. So we start July? What is our start date? July.
Second week of July.
Okay, second week of July, and we go into August. The second week of August.
Through August.
Yeah.
Until school starts, basically.
Yeah, it's literally like we stop band camp, and then the following week is the school, like the first day of school. So I went through and broke it down, like, how do I want to organize my band camp? Because I want to make sure that we maximize our time, because I work in corporate America and I really have to lean on you, Bella, to kind of help me during the times that I'm not there. And a lot of this band camp stuff happens, say it with me, during the day. So,
yes, that reminds me, I need to start organizing my other job to prepare.
Yeah.
My other jobs to prepare. We love band camp.
Yeah. So I actually took an entire week of PTO for the second week of band camp, because that was a really vital time for me to be there. And then the first week of band camp, I was actually able to organize it around my schedule. The band director gave me full headway to do that. So I went ahead and was like, well, I'm going to organize it around my schedule. So the first week is 3 to 7. And we're pretty much just going to be doing like a touch base of everything that we learned during our technique camp in May.
Recap.
Yeah. And then we're going to be just going over all that and then building onto it. So our techs have some stuff that they kind of want to incorporate. I've already approved it. I'm like, heck yeah, let's do this. So we're going to be doing that the first week. It's pretty much all going to be technique, reviewing all of the technique that we've been doing. Then, we go into the second week. So you need to organize the way that you need to organize. Now, since we have 4 weeks, I was able to do a week of technique camp, week of choreography, week of, reviewing all of the choreography and just starting to build. And then that last week we're doing drill and putting it with choreography. So because we have so much time, I was able to do that. Now, if you have a band that doesn't do 4 weeks, maybe you only do 2, then that's where you need to organize appropriately. But I was able to take PTO off to be able to just really get all that choreography out of the way. I'm hoping, not saying I'm going to do it, I'm hoping for being able to write all of first and second movement.
Oh my God.
I know. It's going to be a lot, but I'm going to push for it because, we need it.
We do.
And it would take so much weight off of our shoulders if I can get that done.
But that's also why you have me and the techs.
Exactly.
So if we don't get to it with the kids.
Exactly.
Delegation.
That is a great, actually, thing to side note here, y'all. Delegation. Like, you need to, if you have staff that you have hired, you need to delegate. It is not all on you.
Mm-mm.
Please don't do that to you, because you're going to slowly start hating your job. And I was like, no way. I'm all about delegation. You know, I don't like, I'll
You
teach
like
it.
delegating.
I love delegating. I don't, for example, I'm not like the biggest fan of teaching dance. I personally, like, I'll do it if I have to, but I don't want to. It's not like a passion of mine just to do the dance part. And now that we have a tech that, you know, is majored in dance, I'm like, thank God.
And we'll get more into that.
We'll
in a
get
little
more
bit,
into
'cause that was
the hiring
key.
process and stuff, but you know, again, delegation, y'all, like, you need to start organizing, prepping for that band camp, and then also too, what would help you, because you know your band camp is going to come up quick and you're not going to have anything to do, like you're not going to have time to do things. Start also prepping for all of the school stuff. So if you have a color guard class, you need to start organizing what are the assignments that you're doing for the fall season. In our color guard class, it's year long, and I actually split it up between fall and winter. So we have, you know, fall assignments, winter assignments. So I do prep all of my fall stuff like before school starts. So then I have all of the Excel spreadsheets organized. Everybody's added to
Yeah,
those.
and you don't have to worry about doing that.
Exactly. Assignments are printed out. I
Yeah.
already organized their folders, putting their names on it, all that kind of stuff. So starts prepping all of that school stuff, because y'all, when you start getting into band camp, you're going to be in the dark depths of hell, being outside, dealing with, you know, hot and choreography and kids and all of this stuff. Prep as much as you can. So then when that time comes, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that I prepped all of this, because now I just got to do it. So, and then also too, our course is launched by the
It's
time
out.
that this
By the time
episode
this airs,
Yep,
fingers
yep,
crossed.
yeah, absolutely. So that's very exciting. So make sure to go check out our course.
Mhm.
$95 basic instructor course. It literally gives you the foundation that you need to start building your color guard career. So
Mhm. And Caitlin, where can they go find this course?
so great to ask. So in our Instagram, we have a link that actually leads you to the school that you can check out all the courses. On Instagram is going to be the main source that you can find all of our stuff right now, because our website is being built. So right now, go to our Instagram. You can find the link in our bio, or we are going to be posting the link pretty frequently on our stories as well. So check out our stories, all of that great stuff. So right now, that's where it is. You need to go grab that link from our Instagram page.
Right. If you're watching this way in the future, there'll probably be a space on our website that
Yes.
you can also find all those courses listed. But until then, sift through our bio.
Yeah, you got to go to our bio. We have actually a very organized link page on our Instagram page, where you click on it, it opens up our like mini profile, and you get to click on all of our affiliate links, all of our all of this stuff that we offer. So go check that out. It is awesome. We're just so excited to have such an awesome course. So yeah. Let's take a mini break though. Let's talk a little bit about sponsors. We still don't have a sponsor, so
Which is fine.
But if you know of any companies that love supporting the Colorguard community and would love to support our Colorguard Creative podcast, send them our way. We would love to have a sponsor to,
do more
keep
awesome
everything.
things.
Exactly. We got to keep going,
Yes, get
So.
mics that work a little bit better.
Yeah, we've had an interesting experience with these mics. So
They're pretty good, but I think they're a little
good.
too good.
Yeah, we need something a little different, but right now it's working. We got like a million laptops and tablets going at the same time. It's all good though. We got this.
This is fine.
This is fine. Yeah. So, if you know of any companies or anybody that would like to sponsor our podcast, please make sure that you send them, our podcast, our information, because we would love to start having some sponsors. So Yeah, but that's our little mini break. Let's go into our deep dive topic. So what is our deep dive topic?
Right. So we just hired 2 new techs
Yes.
on our staff. What was the process of
Mhm.
making that job listing, finding them, interviewing them? What were we looking for? How
Yeah.
did this play out?
So here's the thing. I'm going to say this right off the bat. If you don't have Canva and you are a Colorguard instructor, what are you doing? Because Canva will save your life.
Unless you're really skilled in Photoshop and all that
Wh-
fancy stuff.
Which, if you can afford Photoshop, like, that's awesome for you. I love that energy.
Go for it.
I cannot. Canva's free. So Canva is a great way to go. I started with, at the very beginning, after we ended winter guard season, I knew that you were going to be going back to school. You expressed certain things, and I was like, and I also, I also wanted to make sure that we were both taken care of. And I fought hard for us to get techs. And the goal was, well, since I have all of this education background in corporate America and in the color guard world, why don't I give the opportunity to do some type of mentorship with at least one of the positions? If not both, but at least one. And we also needed somebody to help take over the middle school, because we're starting a middle school color guard. But me and Bella cannot take that on. We have too much on our plate dealing with our main color guard at the high school.
Mm-hmm.
But we need the middle school color guard. So we decided to pose a proposal to the band director and the band boosters. And we said, hey, we need a tech. This is how much we need for that tech. And then we also need an intern tech. This is what we're going to be offering. And then also this is what we need for payment wise. And the band boosters were like, okay, fine. We'll give it to you. Which I'm very like. We have amazing
boosters.
Yeah,
we have amazing band
boosters.
parents who help take care of the whole financial side of the program. They're really good.
And they've really recognized us. They've cared about us this past winter season, this past fall season. It just massive support.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I came to them and I was like, hey guys, for me to be able to continue being successful, these are the things that I need. I need a tech and an intern tech.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, okay.
Side note, if you are just a color guard director on your own, chances are there's probably a little bit of budget, depending on what district you're in, for a tech already if you're just one person. Talk to your band directors, see kind of what your financial situation is like. If you have like just a big set budget for the year, I think oftentimes it's kind of there for you to take part of that and use that to divide it monthly for a tech position.
Yep.
So talk to your band directors about that. If you're kind of like us where you have 2 people hired, maybe you're at a Title I school, there might not be that much in the budget for a tech. But we did take a look at our salaries. We took a look at our budget that we're given overall. And we were able to lay out a proposal sheet to take to the boosters and say, hey, we cut this down as much as we can. This is how much more we need in order to hire 2 people for this amount of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, just talk about it with your band director. Have a proposal sheet. That's probably the best way that you're going to get started on your way to hiring a tech, if that's something that you need.
Yeah. Honestly, it's all about communication. And also too, if you are doing great things and you are expressing about the things that you want to do, how you want to grow the program, all of those great things, then you will have people that support you. If you did the right thing and, you went with, the staff that works great with you, then you're going to have those opportunities, to be able to talk about those, to come to the table and say, hey, I need these things to be successful. Is there a way that we can work around this, and try,
Yeah.
But if you come to the table with something and say, hey, I've looked at all of these options. This is the idea that I have. Can I get some help here? And that's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
We said, hey, we looked at our budget. This is what we're doing. This is what we need. And we need X amount of dollars to be able to do this. And the band boosters were like, okay,
Yeah.
let's do this. So that's where it started. It all started there, because if you're saying to yourself right now, well, I'm one person and they said that I can't get a tech. Okay, well, what did you do to be able to sift through the budget and communicate, build relationships with those band boosters and all of those things? You need to be able to take those steps, because just us, me and Bella, doing all of the great things that we did last year gave those band boosters a reason to be like, well, we want to keep them. So yeah, we're going to do this. So make sure that you're taking the steps to review the budget and come to the table with something.
Yeah.
And just,
And
what's
be
the
open.
worst that they can do? Say no. Okay, at least you asked.
Right.
know?
Right.
So
And they know that you're looking for that budget. So
Exactly.
if, there's room later on,
exactly.
they know you're looking.
Yep. And, actually building off that a little bit, when I went to the table with what I needed, and I set out what the roles and responsibilities were for these two people, the boosters came back and said, okay, well, if we're going to be funding this, we actually want to require more of the intern tech role. This is what we want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, sold.
Negotiation.
Yeah, negotiation. So that's where it started. Then, because I have a lot of experience in corporate America with hiring and then also interviewing, I knew exactly how I wanted to lay it out. So I started in Canva. I made sure to do a really nice little poster. And I actually posted it because here in Texas, how the majority of us communicate is on Facebook groups. You might be a little different in your area. Maybe you guys have, I don't know, a group forum. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
In our community here in DFW, we have two major group Facebook groups that we kind of monitor and have conversations on. So I posted it on there, and I posted exactly what I was looking for. Now, what I was looking for, we were going to start with just hiring the tech and see what came out of it. So what we put on the poster in our situation was no teaching experience required. If you have spinning experience, great. And then we were going to see what came out of it. And whoa, did we have a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I think it was because we put no teaching experience required, because me and you are both experienced
That's
in
just something that
mentorship.
we were okay with.
That was something that we were okay with. Now, if you are a Colorguard director and you need a tech that is more skilled, then put that on there. You need to be open about what you are putting on that flyer. If you are vague, you're going to get a lot of questions, and it's just too much for you to deal with. Be open and honest on that flyer that you post, and you'll get a lot better outcome and a lot less that you have to sit through. So that's what I would recommend. We put on there no teaching experience required, because we were just kind of seeing what was going to happen with it. And we got so many emails, messages. It was crazy. We weeded through those, did some basic questions like, can you be here for X, Y, and Z? So I sent out they went ahead and emailed and said, hey, I'm interested in this. Then what I would do is I sent out an email that was sent to everybody. These are the requirements of the role. This is the schedule requirements. Is this something that you would be able to do? And then if they said no, then it's okay. We don't have to interview. That's fine. This is not the position for you.
No harm. Yeah.
No harm, no foul. Now, if they were, and I liked their resume, and I thought that they might be a good fit, then I pulled them and I said, okay, I'm going to schedule you for an interview. And I had specific weeks organized with you, me, the band directors, the percussion director, because in our little staff that we have, the band director, the assistant band director, and the percussion director are all very involved with all of us. So
We're all very close.
We're all very close.
Collaborative.
We're very collaborative, and we all like to be there to support each other. So when the color guard has something going on, they all show up. When the percussion has something going on, we all show up. Like, if, you know, the band has something going on, we all show up. So, you know, we had to make sure this was like the weeks that we were going to interview. So I gave it some time, and I let people, you know, filter in. Once I said, okay, like, these are the people that we're going to interview, I organized it by, and you're going to notice this a lot. This is an inside secret that a lot of people don't really talk about, but you're going to start noticing now that you've heard it, is I started organizing by, like, my top picks. So if your resume was really good, it was eye-catching, I felt like you might be a good fit. If you were my first pick, like, okay, I can see this person really fitting into this role, I let you pick whatever date during whatever week first. So I said, hey, you know, I want to interview you. What date during this week do you have available during this time? And they got to pick whatever date they wanted. And then they would pick, and then I would put them in that slot. Then I go to the next person. What date do you want? Like, what's my next pick, you know? So, and then I went down the list, and I let them, like, pick dates and stuff. So once we got to the interview, we got them all organized and stuff, that's when I kind of roped you in. And I was like, here's all of the resumes. They're all confirmed for interviews.
Yeah, you did a good job of, like, keeping us updated on the people that you thought. You would send them in our full group chat, getting our band director involved, which is really nice. They got to see, kind of have an idea of who was coming in. Yeah.
You know, and for me, I love a good resume. I love an easy looking resume, you know, put your skills at the top. You know, let me see what y'all, okay. I'm going to say this loud enough for everybody in the back to hear it, okay? If you are applying for a certain specific position, put specific experience on there. If you're applying for a Colorguard job, I don't really care that you worked at McDonald's. So customize it. And what I mean by easy reading resume is you put time and effort into this resume to make it readable, to make it easy for me to figure out, what are you good at? What experience do you have? It's so big. So please customize that resume, because that's my first impression of you. So that's where I was like, here's what I think of all these candidates.
Right.
You know, as looking at their resume. And, you know, you got to, you know, read over them before we, you know, did it and all that stuff. And then come the interview. We had the interviews. The interviews I thought were very good. We had a lot of great candidates. And here's the thing, y'all, is that during an interview process, it is important to look presentable. It's important to be yourself, because when you go in for an interview, it's some of it is about the vibes, right? Like,
that's what we said.
Yeah.
We told each other before the interviews began, not that, you know, we rely too heavily on this, but we said, it's all about the vibes.
It's all about the vibes.
It's all about the vibes. They don't have to have years and years of marching experience. They don't have to have years and years of teaching experience. We want them to have a good vibe that we think would fit
with us.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm not saying change your personality when you go into an interview. I'm saying you need to find something that's perfect for you, and that person that is interviewing for the position needs to find something that's perfect for them. And if that means that their personality doesn't vibe with you, then that means that that's just not the job for them, and that's okay. That's okay. Like, literally, it's fine, you know, but you need to, you know, fill out the vibes, you know, and go in, be excited to be there, you know, talk about, and actually organize the interview. So if you're a Colorguard director, you need to organize your interview. If you are somebody that is interviewing, then you need to be organized and thought out. So have some wrote up questions that you kind of go through, talk about yourself a little bit, be precise, friendly, open, honest, because again, the last thing that you need if you are the interviewee is to go into a job that doesn't fit you.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing that the director needs, if you're interviewing, is to be unorganized and, not knowing what you want, because then that amazing person that might fit your program is now not going to be there because they're like, this person seems very disorganized. Organize questions. Ask. Ask them appropriate, go through the list.
We had a very structured interview. Yeah.
Very structured. I've done a lot of interviews within, because I've been an interviewer in corporate America, so I got a lot of that structure. A lot of those questions were actually straight from my job. But it's all about being organized, asking the appropriate questions that you need for your program and your staff.
Exactly. If you've never conducted an interview before, write out a list of basic questions that you're going to ask all your people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from there, the conversation will, progress, and you will probably have individual questions for them. But start off, ask them about their resume, introduce yourself, talk about your experience, kind of what you're looking for. You can look up like interview questions, but pick out, don't just put questions down to put questions down. Pick the ones where you're going to find answers that are relevant to help you figure out, hey, is this person going to fit into this position and for what we need?
Exactly. Like,
for example, we talked a little bit earlier about how, you don't really like choreographing dance that much.
Yeah.
And this was just a partial, a small thing of what we asked. Yeah. I don't come from a dance background. So, one of the questions we asked was, hey, what's your favorite piece of equipment? What's your strong suit?
What's your strong suit? I think that's what we asked, right?
Yeah.
What is the skill that you feel most comfortable in the Colorguard community? So that could be anything.
That could be anything.
And almost every single person that we interviewed said some type of like equipment or dance.
Which is great, and that did not disqualify them.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
all. For sure. We love that.
Yeah. And that's where I was like, I want to know, like, what do you feel most confident in? And that is going to, and again, if you are an interviewee and you say, my most confident thing is rifle, and that program is not looking for a rifle tech, that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
If you like flag too, like let's say you like any equipment, but that specific program is looking for a dance person and you're not as confident in dance, that means that it just doesn't fit you. That position is not for you. And that is okay. It is okay. It is okay. And so that's where, we really wanted to make sure that we asked appropriate questions. So that is, what is your favorite piece of equipment? How confident do you feel teaching? What is the skill that you would say you want to work most on when you teach? All those kind of things. So we asked those kind of, questions for everybody. We went through, and what was one of the first things that we would do after the person had left and we're like trying to get the feedback, everybody and all that, is we would both look at each other and be like, did they pass the vibe check? Because again, our personalities are, we work very well together. We need somebody to be able to fit into that. Mm-hmm. And so what is their vibe? Mm-hmm. We can't have somebody that is maybe, I don't know, who would not, I mean, there's like certain personalities that just wouldn't fit with us, right?
I can't even think of, everyone we interviewed was really nice. Luckily, we had some great applicants. Great. It was great. Really fun to meet everybody.
Yeah. There's certain things that we were looking for specifically that we needed to fill the space for us. And that is no hard feelings on anybody.
No, everyone was great.
Yeah.
It just, when it came to what were we looking for and what kind of questions we were asking to find that person,
Yep.
we found one who had a really big dance background.
Yeah.
Who was eager to learn more and progress in their like career as a color guard person, which is exactly what we were looking for.
Exactly. And the thing is that because we were technically hiring for 2 positions, I never posted that we were hiring for an intern tech. I wanted to see what the tech came out with first. See, like, who's even applying for the tech? And that's where we got our intern tech, because he had just graduated high school, literally like as we were interviewing him. And he was interested in the tech role. And because we put on there, no teaching experience required, he was interested. Well, guess what? That gave us a really good segue to be like, hey, so we actually think you would be best fit for our intern role. And we kind of, said that, hey, we think that you would be best fit for the other position that we are going to be hiring for. It's called an intern tech. And we think that you would be a great fit for it. What do you think about that? This is the role responsibilities. And he was immediately like, yes.
Yes.
So it worked out for us.
It was great.
It was.
It was great. It's a very successful
it was
process.
Very successful. And then after you do the hiring, here's the other thing that I don't like about interview processes, and this can go for any job out there. It doesn't have to specifically be with ColorGuard, but any job out there, is after you interview with them, they never follow up.
That's the worst.
It is literally the worst. And I'm like, did I get it? Or obviously I didn't, because it's been 3 weeks and you haven't said anything to me. So I made a purpose to tell them, you will be finding out on this day
whether or not
what the decision is, whether you got it or not. And I did. I sent everybody an email. Well, first what I did was I confirmed that the 2 people that I wanted for the roles did respond and say that they wanted the role and that they were going to do it. So we established that. And then I went ahead and emailed everybody else and said, okay, like, thank you so much for your time. We have gone with somebody else. This doesn't disqualify you from applying in the future. We just decided to go with a different candidate.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important. Even though none of them responded, that's okay. But they got the email. Now they don't have to and then also too, they got I'm not disqualified to apply in the future. And even if I see them later somewhere else, guess what? They can come up to me. They can talk to me.
Yeah. Because there's no weird energy there.
Exactly.
Another thing is, before that, you had scheduled all of these interviews in advance. So even though we met those 2 that we picked early on, we still went through with all these interviews. The interviews. If you schedule an interview with somebody,
you need to
honor it.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
So good. Yes. Preach. Oh my God. Yeah. That is another thing that drives me crazy is you schedule this interview, I'm getting prepped for it, and then you cancel it a day before. That's
no, go through with all the interviews, because also you never know. There might be somebody who you really like.
Exactly.
But then at the end, somebody swoops in who you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is great.
Exactly. So that's where, make sure that you do your due diligence as a director of doing the right thing. Then also too, if you're an interviewee, look at that organization of that program. Are they organized? Are they sending out emails? What is the program? What are they looking for? And then you'll feel more prepared of what, going into that role, going into that interview and stuff. Now, after the hiring process is still not over, because the candidates accepted it, but they still have to sign contracts. So what we did is both of them came in on a day. We reviewed the entire contract. And that, I require that because I want them to know exactly what they're getting into.
Yeah.
There are no secrets around here.
For sure.
So we went through their entire contract. Both of them wanted to take advantage. Well, the intern had no choice. He had to take advantage of the mentorship program. But the other tech that we hired also wanted to take advantage of the mentorship program.
Which is just something that we offered because we are specifically looking for people who we can train into higher roles.
Yeah.
That was just us.
That's
you
us.
don't have to do that.
Exactly. You don't have to do that because the way that we function and what we can offer, we offer a mentorship program that I mainly run for our techs.
Right.
So,
but if that doesn't apply to you, still review the contract.
Still review the contracts.
And sign the contracts.
Yep. Sign the contracts. Once it's officially signed, then you're going to want to, launch those people on your social media. You're going to want to introduce them to the Colorguard as soon as possible. Get them involved and let them ease into it. Let them see how the program runs. And then let them start, trickling in on what they want to work on.
And make sure that they are in contact with your band director as well, because I think there still might be a couple just administrative side stuff that they need to do that we've already done. Background checks, fingerprinting, ID badges with the front office, all that fun stuff that we don't really have any control over. But direct them towards the person that handles that once school starts.
Absolutely. Yeah. You want to make sure that you get all of that stuff taken care of before the marching band camp starts, because then it's just hectic from there. Yeah. So if you can get that taken care of before, what did we hire these people in end of May?
Yeah.
I think it was end of May, right?
End of May. Yeah.
Yeah, because they got hired the week before our Techni camp. That's right. They got hired in May. So we planned that. Now, y'all, if you have something come up where your tech that you were going to be working with, that you've worked with in the past, leaves, and then you have to hire somebody in August, then it is what it is, right? They kind of just have to jump in the fire and swim. Try to give them as much preparedness as possible, interview as people as you can, but a lot of the hiring happens May, June, and July. May, June, July is a big hiring jump for Colorguard people. So get on those Facebook groups. Find out any forums that your area hangs out in, because all these Colorguard people hang out in very remote places on the internet. So figure out where those places are, get invited to those groups, jump in it, and start trying to tackle those jobs, and also post yourself. So, but that's basically our process.
And it worked for us. It went great.
Yeah, it went great.
Yeah. If you have any stories, just bouncing off that, of hiring processes that you've gone through that maybe haven't gone so well, or that went great, share your stories with us. We'd love to hear other perspectives, get ideas.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also we are still accepting forever and always, we want to accept those story submissions. So if you have any experience within the Colorguard community and you want it to be read on the podcast, it is anonymous. We won't say who the person that submitted it is. But if you have, a story, please submit it to us on our Instagram. Messenger. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, you're in the DFW area, or you come to the DFW area and want to be a guest on the podcast, go ahead and message us on Instagram. And then also too, if you want to sponsor or know of any companies that want to sponsor, then please go ahead and message us on Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all of our social medias, YouTube, Instagram. We have a thread now. And what else do we have? Oh, TikTok. All of it is Colorguard Creative. At Colorguard Creative. It's very easy. So Colorguard Creative, and then make sure to listen to our podcast on Spotify and YouTube. So yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure. See you guys next time. Bye.